Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while, but today I have a possibly controversial topic, but I'd like you to keep in mind that I don't intend to attack anyone per se. Uh, I just notice, things like this every day, and I'm sure that other people do. And I would like to give my thoughts about it. So, I've already made this video in Russian, um, specifically for a Russian audience. And in that video, I talked about how specifically I noticed how in Russia, girls, young women, and even middle aged women, they all seem to use makeup quite a bit more frequently and to a more extreme degree than maybe the general population in the West or in the East, the Far East. Um, so, yeah, I made that video specifically um, criticizing, that. But in that video, I also talked about just, makeup in general. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to talk about the reasons why I think it's not a good thing. Um, and I of course don't want to force anybody to follow along with what I want. I actually think it's impossible to force your opinion on others because these people aren't gonna actually agree with you. They're just gonna agree with you because of other reasons, maybe fear or, whatever. So, yeah, force or coercion is pointless when it comes to changing people's minds. I intend to change people's minds through persuasion and reasoned argument. And hopefully, by the end of the day, maybe I'll convince some people. Maybe not. Oh well. I'll give it a shot. So, imagine I am, of course, a young man, and as many young men, they meet young women. Now, I meet a young woman, and imagine from the get go, I start placing little breadcrumbs of, let's call them falsehoods, whatever, just to entice her a little bit more and more. Little lies about myself, make myself seem a little bit more successful or you know interesting or attractive, whatever. I don't, fundamentally change uh, my the perception of who I am for her. No, I give little lies here and there. So after a while, of course, what's gonna happen? Well, I'm not an expert liar, but yeah, she's gonna find out. Um, and what do you think is gonna happen when she finds out? It's not a mystery. Of course, she's gonna be upset. Um, when you go, you know, break someone's trust, lie to them, that person doesn't like it, and yeah, she's not gonna like it. But she, might think to herself, why did I do that? You know, my fundamental, persona or who I am, on an authentic level, already attracted her, to some degree. Why add in these stupid little, falsehoods just to string her along a little bit more? She was already, caught, as it were. Um, so yeah, her anger might turn into a bit of, bewilderment and whatever. But if she's, committed to a certain degree, she might just overlook it, and she might even keep quiet about it because she wants to make her choice in men look a little bit better for other people. Of course, she doesn't want to look bad. She may know that there's some negative things about me, some untruths, but she doesn't want to tell that to other people because then that's going to reflect poorly on her, right? Right. So let me see other notes I got here. So basically what I'm going at here, what I'm getting at, is that this false confidence, false self-confidence, saying little lies about yourself, telling little lies, that is like a analog of makeup. Let me explain. So, of course, there's many characteristics that we look for in a romantic partner. But deep down, there's one characteristic that has to exist for each gender. There's one that has to exist to some degree, or else nobody's gonna choose you, right, as a partner. Now, for women, that is beauty, and as we know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. For men, though, it's success. And there are different ideas of what is considered success. So, yes, it's gonna be on a subjective basis, yeah. So one way that a guy can project his success would be through insincere or fake self-confidence. But of course, a guy could also have real self-confidence, right? He can know his actual strengths, know himself, and he doesn't boast about it because that he doesn't need to. He's secure in who he is. But the other guy who has his fake self-confidence, yeah, if he's got the skills in the game, yeah, he can get some girls. But given enough time, even these ones that he manages to snag, they're gonna find out the truth. But by that point, he'll already have gotten what he wanted because he's a shallow type of guy, right? He lies about himself to get what he wants. Yeah, there are those types of people in the world. So the takeaway for this part is that fake self-confidence is the male version of makeup, and that's the comparison I want to make. So just as how women will be outraged when a man employs fake self-confidence, where is the outrage in the men when women use makeup? They achieve similar ends. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind is women, they will prop up the characteristic that they think will draw men in, and oftentimes, well, outer beauty is what they will try to focus on. And when they use makeup, they are of course aware that what they are projecting is fake and insincere, just as the guy who has fake self-confidence knows that that's not real. but it's a method to get what he wants. Um, but of course, by the time a man has seen a woman without makeup, maybe he'll already be committed to such a degree that he doesn't want to give it up, and he also, as I explained with the woman, he doesn't want to make his choice in women, look bad. If other people don't know how she looks without makeup, he can just go on and, saying, "Hey, look at this picture of my girlfriend. She's so pretty, right?" But all the time he knows, what she actually looks like. It's a few points down in the, prettiness rating. So besides makeup being a form of deception, it also uncovers the characteristic that a woman considers to be one of her better ones, right? If she uses makeup, well, maybe she thinks that, well, her other characteristics that are not her outer beauty are not sufficient to attract a suitable man. So she tries to, really boost her, face and all that stuff. But I'd like to make the comparison that if I were to say that I'm really cool and talented because I can speak my native language, English, other people would think I'm like delusional, right? Who cares that you can speak your native language? Every normal person can speak his native language, no problem. It's not something you worked on, it's just something you have by virtue of existing, right? The same thing with beauty, outer beauty at least. It's something that you are born with, and you don't work to obtain it. Of course, you can do certain things to diminish it, right? You can overeat, or you can go out in the sun and get horribly burned, and all these things. And of course, in those negative situations, yeah, there's a lot you have to do to counteract that. But that was a lot of times, your own choice to do that. But fundamentally, beauty is the result of merely existing, not effort. And I think it's valued more because it's not evenly distributed among the population. So there is this scarcity that's generated by genetics. And of course, when there is scarcity, oftentimes there is demand for that. If everybody were beautiful, beauty would not be very valuable. So, if beauty is the best characteristic that a woman has got, I mean, she didn't do anything to get that, so it's kind of pathetic. So that's an indicator when she uses makeup that that might be the case. And speaking of kind of being pathetic and weak, a lot of women use makeup because they have this idea in their minds that society expects it of them. And I'd like to consider that here. And if you do something because you're expected to do it, well, there's a couple possibilities. You could be in love, you could be a slave, or you could be an employee. But an employee doesn't do things because he's expected to. He does things more on a contractual obligation basis. So let's exclude being an employee. Either you're in love or you're a slave. if you if you go along with what society expects of you just because you are afraid of the negative social ramifications, then you are a slave to society and your own desire for other people to, positively um, view you or view you in a positive light. Because a slave works because he's afraid. And that's sort of what's going on here in this situation um, when you wear makeup because you think society expects it, not because you want to out of your own accord. So I don't know about other people, but I don't want to have a partner with outward sign of a slavish personality. Who wants that? And there are, of course, practical reasons not to wear makeup. It can cause acne, clog up your pores. It can damage your skin with if you use it for a long time. I think at least some types maybe. It can be expensive, especially in Russia. It's rather expensive for Russians. And it can take a long time to apply. How how much time does a woman spend in the morning with makeup? Well, if she's really into it, she can spend a lot of time. So it could be a lot of wasted time. And of course, if you're vegan or something, maybe the makeup is tested on animals, and you don't like that the animals had to go through that. There's plenty of these practical reasons not to wear makeup, but I don't really care about that type of stuff. I care about more a priori principled reasons. So that's why I didn't go into all that stuff. Now, you might respond here that, well, are you saying that you're against all, changes, modifications to outward appearance? I mean, that would be insane. Well, no, I'm not. Obviously, I don't live like a caveman. I shave my head. I trim my beard. I wash my face. I use acne medicine. I try to clean my face. I take showers. I try to dress in a way that I think will be acceptable in society and also to my own conscience. I'd like to point out that there is a categorical difference, though, between these types of things and makeup. Makeup, it's fundamentally there to obscure something, cover something, and then purport or replace the thing that it's covering. So it becomes your face, at least the face that other people see, and it's not seen to be as something external. It's, I guess the idea is that it's supposed to be imperceptible, and it achieves its effect of boosting your looks. But if the person notices it, then it's not actually achieving what its intended purpose is. So it's fundamentally supposed to be something that's part of your fundamental look, and it's of course deceptive. It's there to change that look. It's there to hide things, whereas your clothes, they hide your nakedness, and that's usually considered to be a good thing. They keep you warm, as well. Uh, of course, there are ways to abuse clothing. You could use it to attract attention when you're not supposed to, or there are ways to use it wrongly. Yeah. And then about the hair, let's go there. Your hair is a part of you physically. Removing it is not obscuring something; it's actually exposing something. Or cutting it in a certain way, it's not really obscuring something. It's removing a part of you. Um, so it's not there to deceive you really. And I'd like to focus a little bit on body hair, because that's something our modern society really they make the connection between makeup and body hair. I don't see the connection, but it's made often. And I'd like to point out that the way our modern society views body hair is completely, I would say, it's an anomaly if you consider all cultures throughout history. Now, it's not a complete anomaly. I mean, there are examples, like the Romans often were very concerned with plucking different hairs and stuff, and when they went to their public baths, they were concerned with body hair quite a bit, as well as like some Egyptian priests. They shaved their head like every day or something. I can't remember. I was reading Herodotus, and they were very concerned with bathing, shaving, all of that. And then you have today, in the East and in the West, a great concern for shaving body hair, sometimes for both genders, sometimes only for one, sometimes only for certain parts of the body, sometimes all of it, whatever. I'd like to say that that's all a manufactured disgust or whatever, a manufactured feeling about this whole body hair thing. It's a modern myth that it's somehow unhygienic. If you follow normal hygienic practices, there's not going to be any issue. I don't know, maybe the types of people who would be brave enough not to shave certain things, they might also be the types of people who would forego these other hygienic, hygienic practices. So maybe that's why there's this connection that's being made. But in and of itself, if you bathe properly or whatever, everything's gonna be fine. And I personally wouldn't expect women to shave anything that they don't really want to. And I think it's a stupid expectation of society today that they should, because it's, of course, a very modern idea. But that's my opinion about it. And in general, though, that I think that wearing makeup is a bad thing and that people should stop. So, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.